Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, update number 3 on my 324 Necropolis League start on the Bleed Gladiator. Today, we're going to talk about several things about the gearing upgrade, the upgrade path, like talking about forward the next upcoming days, if so, and about my current Atlas strategy, about the way I make currency, about my map rolling, about the league mechanic. I hope I can get a lot of information into this video, what I'm currently doing and what's happening basically, right? So I would say we start off with a map showcase so you see what the current thing looks like. So take a cemetery and quickly go over my Atlas tree so you guys know. Most likely not care what is on these maps. I have like mixed feelings right now because I see so many people when I open Twitter or like YouTube comments and stuff, you know, it's like people getting one-shotted left and right, and I personally don't have any issue. I don't even care what is on my rolls over here. So let's is a free craft of lead. Like usually I don't even care what is strong, what is not strong, and I'm like, yeah, okay, Valorb is good, fusing is good, quantity, and this is how I open my map. I don't care which modifiers on what monster. It just never bothers me really, and honestly I'm not really dying too often unless it's like a insanely ghosted boss kind of stuff, you know, with altars and stuff. And yeah, so Atlas tree, what am I doing right now? So I went from my Atlas tree 1, which is like a map sustain, which got me to clear the entire Atlas, unlocked all my favorite map slots. I did all the the non pinnacle, like non-uber pinnacle bosses, or just pinnacle bosses. So it's just a Feared missing, and I also done the Cortex, and today I've done Katarina on 83. So I've done pretty much everything on this build besides Ubers and tier 17 maps. And so I opted into my second tree, and here I'm doing some form of Guardians maps. That means when I kill map boss and stuff, I have a chance for synthesized maps, Elder maps, Shaper maps, and Conqueror maps, together with actually Eldritch Gaze and Rampant Growth, and going for the blue. I always call him Blue Exarch, but it's the Eater of Worlds. I just like the blue one more, but I think like the minions that are shooting their weird tentacle women, you know, they're kind of rough if you don't have a lot of evasion. Then I'm opting into Legion, as well as Harby, strong boxes, and a bit on the league mechanic over here, even buffing the modifiers, increase effect of Hounded modifiers on your map. So that's why I say I just blow these things up. So as I said, we have Harby, we have I keep the soul fight thingy because I like this when you just get the max resist damage and the movement speed. Pretty nice to have. Then as I said, map sustain and so on. So this is my current tree. It is linked in the description below. And I'm just alk and going my maps and just trying to build up a solid pool of maps. So map starts. Yeah, we just run around and do split arrow. Gear is getting slightly better. I've done like 2 or 3 upgrades to the character, and we basically doubled the DPS from yesterday, which is pretty good in my opinion. And the way I run these maps, because I still favorite the cemetery, because without scarabs and stuff, I like this one just more because of the Brothers Gift card and stuff like that for a potential 5 divine drops, you know. So usually I'm just running to the corner and get to the boss, so we block the boss altar. So I'm loading up to 7 stacks, Frostblink forward, and then just get a nice puncture on the boss and that, you know. And now we start clearing the map, because I still gamble for the divine altar. I haven't gotten one yet. I'm still not on a single divine or dropped in this league, even though I'm streaming like, or playing like 12-13 hours every single day. But I had other good drops, so I cannot really complain, you know. We had a Hinakora's Lock that sold for 9 divines. We got a Harry's Ire for 5-6 divines. We got a Bottled Faith on our first Cortex that we've done. So things are going pretty well. What else to say? Yeah, we're gonna talk about the upgrades that I've purchased for this build a bit later, and how gearing path looking like. These are the little girlies here with the, you know, tentacle things. So, let's talk about the league mechanics, since I'm not using the crafting and barely actually using the, what is it? These extra modifiers. I sometimes throw them in before I stack them up. But basically, at the moment, I'm just looking for high-rated modifiers. I don't know exactly what is the highest. I think like 100 defense modifier rating is pretty good because I want to sell those crafts because at the moment I'm just not interested in the crafting process. For the increased chance, I know it goes up to 500, so I'm skipping that one. So if we quickly go into the talk to this guy, you're gonna see we have like 300% Sarsar, I think, is the highest Sarsar mod. So I'm collecting these, the 500% increased modifiers. Then we have I think 50 to tier rating or 100 to tier rating even is like, I think the highest. Oh, actually it's 100, so I actually would delete now the 50. And actually I just wait until it's full and then I just see what I can make currency wise out of that. Because I've seen a bunch of like crafting videos. You might seen the video from Grimbro where he explains how everything works. And he also encourages people to start selling those because there are people that are interested in the crafting, but they cannot buy any corpses, right? Because almost no corpses are available because people are unsure how it works. And he mentioned that he would like to buy all the rare ones, you know, and that's why I just collect the rare ones now and just put them on trade and see for how much I can sell them later, right? So, doing Legion still one of the most powerful things to do these days. It's a lot of fun, and with Split Arrow, it's actually quite nice to do so, because it's still a bow build in the end. Okay, it doesn't probably one-shot stuff like EK Ignite with explosions and stuff, but I think when you take the right notes in the tree, it is not a problem to break out all the things, and then you basically just move around, get some of these Split Arrows off, and until you're done with like looting and clicking on every single chest, almost everything is dead. Unless there's like a proximity shield that maybe needs a punk. So let's take another look at this one. You know, just running around, Split Arrow. There is notes that the monsters are longer in stasis and take more damage while breaking out. So this is quite nice as well. And this is what we do. It doesn't really matter how long you need to kill the Legion. You just want to break them out, right? And even with Split Arrow, it's like no problem, basically freeing the entire Legion. We got 3 seconds left. Bad layout here, but yeah, I think we have like 99% gone out, so that's like totally fine. And yeah, so don't forget, you're playing a dot build, right? If you play this build that I'm playing. So if there is something like proximity shields, what you want to do is you run into the proximity shield, shoot one time, and then move away, because they're going to get the dot damage regardless if you're in there or not. But in order to get the bleed damage on there, you need to enter the proximity shield, which is annoying, but I think that's annoying for almost every single build, right? So here we have a big Soul Eater, so load up a Puncture, and it's dead. Clicking up more chests, and whoop, what is this? Yo, my first Divine Orb. As we say, dude, first Divine Orb. I got like 4 Divines out of the League mechanic. But yeah, finally, I mean, it was still a League mechanic if we think about that. It's what is it? Legion. But you know, I wouldn't count like an altar shrine for finding like 30 Divines in one map. Even though you do, but it's still like an altar. This is not like the norm. But you know, how many kills do I have? We're sitting on a total of like 300,000 monsters already killed on my League starter. I think I don't know if I've ever stick that long on my League starter. So it's like, just shows how much I enjoy the build. And as I said, I don't really have a lot of problems. And I'm running the blue altars with the increased modifiers. So stuff can get very, very rough, but still I'm not really having a lot of problems. I haven't spec'd into Expedition, and to be honest, at the moment I only care about 2gen or the other guy that is the generic one, basically, because 2gen has a Divine Orb for me, but I cannot buy it, which is kind of sad. I'm missing some of the exquisite modifiers. But when farming the blue altar, there's just one modifier that is a bit annoying, and this is the random projectile one. Something that you don't mind with a lot of other bow skills or something. But don't forget, for clearing it doesn't matter really. If my Split Arrow, if I shoot like 15 arrows or something in front of me, it doesn't really matter. Or if I shoot them in the back, or, you know, they chain, it's totally fine, right? But let's assume you get one of these blue altars in the start with the arrows. Like, good luck hitting a Puncture if your arrows completely go random. It's literally like this like Mana Forged arrow here, right? So it's like you can load it up, blink in the boss, and then release it and hope that you're gonna hit it. And yeah, this is basically Map Showcase, as I said, wonderful builds to play here. So, what about the stack decks? Because maybe good card, maybe not. So, which upgrades have we done today? And I also want to show you guys the current PUB, which is obviously linked in the description below. So, we started off on day 0 with about, yeah, let's say 10,000 damage. I mean, it was day act 6 or 7 or something, right? So, day 1, we had 3 million DPS. Day 2, we had 6 million DPS. And now, currently, we have 11 million DPS. So, what made our damage basically double? I started off with doing like overall gameplay. Means I was doing my quest contracts here. I think this is like one of the last ones that is remaining. So I was doing some heist, unlocking a trinket for my incubators later, right? I was doing like all kinds of side content, like safe houses, like, you know, everything that pops up. I don't want to waste the currency, right? And basically, I unlocked all the pantheons, which I do every single league on every single character. Now I only have to do it once. And once I unlocked the Brine King with the 100% chance to avoid being frozen, this is when I swapped away from Purity of Elements and now for Malevolence. And this is quite of a big deal when it comes to damage, as well as taking now Garokan for the reduced effect of Shock, because Shock is terrible, right? And usually I hate characters without ailment avoidance. But, you know, I still think that Malevolence is kind of nice because I did basically all the league start with like 3 auras, which is Blood and Sand, which is kind of just for switching stances, and then it's like Purity of Elements for resistance and ailment immunity, as well as Determination. So I had absolutely no damage auras whatsoever, so getting in Malevolence now is a big kind of deal. And I did buy an Owl's Uprising with Pride has no reservation, means now I'm currently running Flesh and Stone, Pride, Determination, and Malevolence. And that basically gave me quite some damage. Still the same bow, same boots, same ring, same everything besides. So the upgrades were the Quiver and the Amulet pretty much. Quiver, I got this one. It has flat physical damage, life, double resistance, increased damage with bows, and dot multi. I got this, in my opinion, pretty cheap for 1 divine. Better would obviously be double dot multi, means damage over time multiplier for attack skills, and a hunter modifier with physical damage over time multiplier, but these can go for several divines, and I didn't want to spend too much because when I sold my Hinokora's Locket, I was round about like 10 divines in my stash, or 11, and so I bought this one for 11 divines, and then I was basically grinding back up, and we are sitting on 8 divines now, right? And as I said, 2gen has one of the beautiful divine orbs, but I cannot buy it. I already tried it here with like 84, but I want to have the 98 because otherwise it's gone. So, you know, maybe I'm gonna throw in some expedition Arabs just to get this like done. Good. What about, so we talked about my Atlas tree, how this one works. How do I roll my maps? I'm using here this website. It's called Path of Exile Regex. I go to map modifiers and I click on all the modifiers that I don't want to run, and then I can copy this into my search over here. So I go here, have here my map preparation. So I paste this in, and if it lights up, it fulfills all the modifiers. And if I have a mod like Physical Reflect, it would be grayed out, so I can like chaos spam the map, and then I don't have to worry about it. And basically at the moment I have Monster Reflect is, I cannot do that. I would kill myself. No regen does work, but it's annoying. As well as chance to avoid poison, impel, and bleeding. That's also annoying. If the map has like 70% chance to avoid bleeding, you know, you always have to hit so often until you get a good bleed on an enemy, and this is just annoying. So 1 I cannot do, and the other 2 is just for quality of life, and basically that's about it. So let's talk about currency. How am I currently making currency? I'm not really making a lot. I mean, it's kind of like funny if you say, hey, I bought this for 11 divines and I have another 8 divines over here, so I'm making currency, but I'm more or less bulking up. Usually on League Start, what I do is I farm a day, and in the evening I convert my, I don't know, my regrets, my unmakings, my fusings, my jewelers. I convert all of that into chaos, and before I go to bed I usually convert that into divines and then go next. And this is what I do every single day. At the moment I haven't changed my stuff a single time, and if I open here Exilence Next, which is Exilence CE, which is a program that can track the stuff that you have. So if I take a snapshot over here, we're currently actually sitting on 32 divines more, which is all the kind of stuff, all the scarabs, the fragments, the kind of things. This is roughly this would be if everything would sell instantly and get rid of everything, right? So realistically, I would say like 20-25 divines or something that I could get out of my stuff, which, as I said, includes all of the like these random currencies, some juice over here. We have fragments. I have like a couple of 5-ways left, right? We have tons of scarabs, some of them even worth like over 100 chaos. A little bit of eldritch stuff. We have divination cards, essences, fossils, blight. You know, everything here. I have not changed a single stuff over here for selling. But I do have my quad tab here. This is my dump tab where I throw in everything, including T17 maps. Some of them are still here. They're usually going for 30 chaos, but I sold today like at least like 7 or 8 of these tier 70 maps for 50 chaos, because maybe it just had modifiers that the person that wants to do them could run, basically, right? And then, yeah, basically just throwing in everything for 50C. Tomorrow I'll lower the price to 40C and 30C, and then until it basically sells. I'm not too worried about the fast currency, basically. I would say I spent a total of, you know, like, spent about 20 divines on my build so far. Worth, it's probably more like 30, just because I got the Forbidden Flame Flash pretty cheap. I spent like 2 divines for blue and 4 divines for the red one. The red one is now 8 divines, and the blue one doesn't exist right now. So still, the character is always worth more than what you spend if you buy stuff early on. The same as my Awakened Gems that are currently leveling up. They're turning probably level 3 tomorrow. So, you know, it's always like step by step upgrading, upgrading, upgrading. And what would be the next upgrade, you might ask? I mean, I'm still running a 5-link. Oh wait, I played the map actually on a 5-link split arrow. I should actually, okay. So split arrow usually on a 6-link and puncture on a 5-link, because I only need puncture actually for soul eater mobs or maybe the map boss, you know. So it's not like too much left. So the better your gear is, the more confident build gets, because yeah, snipe is clunky to play. I know that, I agree with that, but the better your gear, the less you're using puncture. So as you saw on the map, I probably punctured like 2 or 3 times the entire map. The rest was split arrow on a 5-link in this case, because as I said, forgot to swap that out, so it would be even more damage. And I did a lot of like betrayal in the start, so I was specking into the first couple unit nodes on the bottom side here, just to unlock crafts for the minus mana cost and stuff like that. And honestly, in the start, it was really like I had to puncture the betrayal monsters, and that kind of sucks, you know. Now with the couple upgrades that I've done, now I can just kill the betrayal monster at the betrayal dudes with a split arrow, and now it feels like a lot better. And moving forward now, getting even better gear, it just gonna make it feel even better and stronger to clear everything. So now with my 500 DPS bow that I bought on day 1 of the league, I think I'm still running the same shit, and but I still have the same mindset where I say like my base gear is pretty much done. You know, this ring is actually so garbage, but hey, it is what it is, you know. I don't need more right now, so why not just play with it? So I have like this core foundation of my build pretty much done, where I say I got my res cap, I got my auras going and stuff like that, and now I'm basically going for 1 item at a time, you know. I updated this quiver, which was like pretty nice. Then I farmed currency. Then I bought the also uprising. Now I farmed currency. Now I'm back at like 8 divines, so my next upgrade probably another 10 divines or something. Maybe I even save up for like 12 divines or something to buy an enlighten, you know. And then I put in the enlighten. Then I could maybe run my war banner. I could activate it, but this is like way too much mana, way too low mana to actually play it comfy. So I just skip that for now. But it's like step by step, and then I would try getting good bases and craft like good gloves, good boots, good helmet. This is just the way I play, you know? 1 item at a time. I'm going from like this base foundation of the build to like end game kind of version, right? So that's why half of my gear is trash, and the other half is like really strong and more or less like considered end game. But there is still many more upgrades. I'm still missing a double medium cluster. I'm missing a large cluster on the bottom side here. I've got in here elegant hubris. The Supreme Ostentation might be pretty nice. I don't need it right now, but thinking about that, just ignore all the stat requirements, because you need a lot of intelligence, you need a lot of dexterity, and we are on the left side of the tree, so we have like a lot of strength, but poorly on intelligence and dexterity. I even got like the 30 notes over here, and then my helm is like 40 intelligence. I think my ring has 30 dex, you know. It's like, you need a lot of stats, and if you think about just taking this note and then have the stats open for extra resistance, maybe 1 or 2 more unique items, so you don't have to worry about too much about the resistance. Maybe spell suppression and stuff like that would go a long way. And this would basically be the next step, getting this build to spell suppression cap, but that would require helmet, boots, the gloves with spell suppression, plus then branching over, like removing a couple points, going over for Mage Bane with the reflexes, maybe a Grace Watcher's Eye if I fit in one extra aura, maybe the entrance cluster. So it is a lot of like investment to get spell suppression capped on a duelist, but this would be like the next kind of step, even though I'm feeling quite tanky. I mean, I cannot face tank any uber bosses or anything, but for the general mapping, I think I'm looking pretty good. I hope I explained everything that I mentioned in the start, and I hope you guys, or at least this helps you getting going with your bleed bow. It has been an absolute pleasure so far. I don't know if I'm going to stick on the build or go for the next one, because now it's just like farming 10 divines, get an upgrade, farm another 10 divines, get the next upgrade, find 20 divines, get the next upgrade, and just like, you know, build up the character. But this character has already done all the content besides T17 and Uber bosses, and I think doing those kind of things would take quite some more investment, because T17 are hard. I did try T17, actually made it to a point where I was at the Uber Lisha, but she completely destroyed. Holy F, dude, everything she did was just one-shotting me, and I got off like 1 or 2 good punctures, and yeah, she was like 90%. So it's actually kind of crazy what you have to deliver for these 17 maps. But this is just the next step, and I like that we have content that is that hard, where you really have to like min-max your character to do maps. Right, guys, all the information and all the links that you need is in the description below. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and